And now we'll start with our questions, and I'll begin with Mr. Nally. I'm interested in the impact the increased U.S. LNG has on the natural gas prices in the U.S. I think it's critically important to remain energy independent. We've spoken about that, and we talked about that, and we had an unbelievable find as far as horizontal drilling with the Marcellus, Utica, and my home area of West Virginia, ocean of gas. We found so much more oil and things that we're able to produce that made us energy independent for the first time. So I'm curious to learn from EIA if the data is changing and whether high LNG export prices, because of the attraction of the high prices, are we exporting more at the detriment to the American consumer, that we're going to pay a higher price here so that companies that we allowed to export their products can make a higher profit overseas?
Well, thank you.
Hit your mic, sir.
Sorry about that. It's a great question, of course. A lot of attention on LNG exports and natural gas in the U.S.
You can also put that for oil too, because we allowed oil exports too. But I think there's a provision in both of the bills that basically allows the president to put a halt on exportations if it's going to basically damage the consumer market here in America or make them pay, so we pay higher prices.
Right. The U.S. has a enormous resource base of natural gas, and there are tight connections between the U.S. and the international markets. We do show continued exports at record levels, or maximum level of up 50% this year and 17% projected next year with new LNG capacity coming online. So, right now we see that the fundamentals in the U.S. market are probably still primarily at play to, what's going on with the U.S. prices. But clearly, the high prices in Europe and Asia are affecting.
They're attractive to, I understand.
Right.
I understand the market. I'm just saying, do you believe it is basically making the prices in America spike because we're allowing more exports to leave our country and not protecting the American consumer? That, natural gas, coal, oil, all these things, because I've seen the coal markets. I can't believe what I'm seeing today. I've never seen it. But also, as far as
Morning, everyone. We had a very productive caucus meeting earlier today. Most importantly, we had an incredibly productive day for the American people yesterday. The bipartisan infrastructure agreement is now the law of the land. That's a great thing for the American people. It's a great thing for the economy. It's a great thing for the Build Back Better agenda. The bipartisan infrastructure agreement will create millions of good-paying jobs for everyday Americans all across this great country, in the North, the South, the East, and the West, in urban America, suburban America, rural America, small-town America, ex-urban America, and Appalachia. It's not a win for Democrats or a loss for Republicans, as some of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle seem to want to frame this tremendous progress for the American people. It's a win for America, delivered with great leadership from President Joe Biden, House Democrats and Senate Democrats, partnering in a bipartisan way with a handful of our colleagues on the other side of the aisle. There are approximately 100,000 structurally deficient bridges in America that could crumble or collapse at any moment. That's just one example of why this historic investment.
We have some more stimulus check information that you want to know. As Congress prepares for another shutdown over the debt ceiling, long-term debt solutions are needed for addressing what has become an increasingly partisan issue. The U.S. narrowly avoided default in October after Republicans refused to vote for a debt limit increase. Democrats instead passed a short-term extension, setting up another fight for early December. And Janet Yellen said that she has a high degree of confidence that the Treasury will be able to finance the government through December 15th. But she warned that there are scenarios in which the Treasury will be left with insufficient remaining resources beyond that mid-December date. Plus, Democratic representatives have reintroduced a measure that would abolish the debt limit. Now, it only has 7 co-sponsors, and that's all Democrats, but a similar bill has been introduced in the Senate. Janet Yellen did testify in September that she supports eliminating that ceiling altogether. Steny Hoyer said he'd like to eliminate the debt limit because it's a phony issue and has no impact on the debt that we incur. But the main offer from Republicans is to help speed up the process of Democrats, raising the debt ceiling on their own through reconciliation, which lets them avoid the 60-vote legislative filibuster. And Senator Pat Toomey has explored a proposal, backed by others in the caucus, to expedite the committee and floor process. That's if Democrats agree to raise debt ceiling through the budget process. Typically, reconciliation requires hours of debate and an unwildly vote-a-rama. In the breaking news about Social Security benefits, well, we all know that Social Security retirement benefits are not all the same for all retirees. The amount of money that you receive in your monthly benefits can vary greatly based on a number of different factors, from when you decide to claim Social Security to how much you earned during your career. But there is a maximum allowable Social Security retirement benefit. Ironically, the highest payout is reserved for those who arguably need it the least. If you're aiming to receive this top payout, there are a few things you can do. For 2021, the Social Security payout is around $4,000 per month. Now, receiving this maximum benefit is based on a combination of your lifelong earnings and of course the age at which you claim your retirement benefit. Now, although the top Social Security payout is actually rather sizable, the average benefit is much less. As of 2021, the average retirement payout amounted to just $1,500, and that's just $18,000 per year. Seeing as a full-time minimum wage worker pulls in about $30,000 per year, the average Social Security benefit will not get most retirees very far. The maximum Social Security payout only applies to individuals, and if your spouse qualifies for their own Social Security benefit, you can add your 2 payouts together and jointly earn more than a maximum for a single person. Folks, that's all the news I have for you in today's video. If you found this video useful and helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like.
Mr. President, the average Social Security benefit today is just $14,000 a year. And as someone who will be the next ranking member of the Budget Committee, I intend to do everything I can, not only to oppose vigorously any efforts to cut Social Security, I'm going to do everything that I can to expand Social Security benefits. And, in fact, the best way to expand Social Security is to ask the wealthiest people in our country to pay more into the system by scrapping the cap